bout it, be bout it. Mic check, 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 3 4. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 3 4. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Monday, April the 19th, 2021. Today's show, this baseball team just keeps on keeping on, folks. I break down this weekend series. The Gamecocks take 2 of 3 from the LSU Tigers, losing on Thursday night 5-1, but winning the doubleheader Saturday by scores of 4-2 and 9-0. Guys, I'll break it all down, give you guys my key takeaways. TSUS Series MVP, slapdick of the weekend, who's hot, who's not, what's next for Carolina baseball as the Gamecocks improve on the season to 10-5 in SEC play. Also, guys, we got some Saturday scrimmage takeaways. Guys, I'll go over just everything that Shane Beamer said after Gamecocks football scrimmage on Saturday. Also, it is spring game week. I'll give my thoughts a little bit on that, guys. I got a packed show, news and notes to get into as well, listener questions. We got a packed show here on a Monday, and it's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention their companies can't offer because they're just too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service is what separates Upstate Movers Group from the competition. They're not a trucking company. They're a moving services company, and they're also employee-owned co-op. Their movers are paid twice the industry average, and everyone on the crew is invested in your success. They have dedicated professional crew members, and they also offer black glove service. They offer end-to-end packing services, custom crating and packaging for special items, and cleaning services as well. They're founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni, guys, so a Gamecock-owned small business. They also offer 20 years of project management moving experience, and they can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply do not have the skills for. Guys, whether in the upstate or across the state of South Carolina, if you have any moving needs in 2021, be sure to check out our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group. Of course, guys, if you have any other questions, go to their website, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com. Be sure to check them out and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Let's get it. And Gamecocks baseball rebounding from a game 1 loss to find a way to win 2 out of 3. Folks, that's the story in 2021. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a packed show here on a Monday. Hope you all, first things first, had a fantastic weekend. I know mine was great. Kind of weird, right, on Sunday not having a baseball game. The Thursday through Saturday series, I think, is cool. It's fun. But waking up on Sunday, it felt weird. It was like, wow, there's no game today. I mean, there were a lot of great rubber matches, by the way. Vandy in Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Again, a lot of teams the Gamecocks are going to play this season. Clemson got swept, so what a great weekend that was. But again, hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you had a relaxing Sunday as well. I will say it was kind of nice being able to just kind of kick back, do some work that I don't normally get to during the week, take care of some things, whatever, not have to stress over a Gamecocks baseball game. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly do appreciate your love and support. I do want to say one thing really quickly. I want to apologize to you guys, to everybody that tunes in, that looks forward to the content. I do apologize. We had technical issues on Saturday because I know a lot of people were confused and wondering, hey, Chris, why are you not tweeting? Why are you not live? What is going on? And trust me, guys, it was killing me. So we had some technical issues on Saturday with my phone, with the laptop, with everything, really. I was locked out of my Twitter account. Twitter went haywire for a second, and it was killing me, dude. Not being able to tweet live during the game, not being able to do the live stream watch-along. It was awful. But I can assure you guys, the issues have been rectified. They are fixed. We're good to go. Obviously, no live stream watch-along this week with all 3 games being at home. But I wanted to apologize to you guys because, again, we messed up. As far as technical issues are concerned. I apologize. Everything is fixed now, though, but again, will not happen again. Everything is taken care of, and I really do appreciate, like I said, you guys' love and support through it all. Really, truly appreciate you guys being flexible with everything. With that being said, though, let's move right into it, guys. LSU Gamecocks taking 2 of 3 from the Bayou Bengals, of course, losing that Thursday game 5-1, but rebounding as it feels like we've done time and time again this season, winning game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday 4-2, and then exploding in game 3 to win 9-0. And guys, the first thing we have to start with, diving into key takeaways, is this, and I'm going to sound like a broken record because I've said this over and over and over again the last couple of weeks, but that win anyway, that battle mentality, the resiliency of this team strikes again. And you just truly cannot say enough about this bunch. You just can't. You cannot say it. You cannot say it. There are a lot of teams in college baseball that are really talented, that have good hitters, that have good pitchers. They've got nice pieces here and there. But the culture of this team and the resiliency and the toughness and the fight and the win anyway and the battle, that's what separates good teams from great teams. It's what separates, champions from the rest of the pack. It really is. When you think back to 2010 and 2011, were those the most talented teams in the field? Not necessarily, no, especially 2010 you look at. No, they were not. But that's the characteristic they showed more than any, was the battle, was the win anyway. That was the characteristic they had, and that's what Gamecocks baseball showed you this past week. And again, I'm not going to lie to you guys. After game 1, I was a little nervous. You go to Baton Rouge, really tough place to play. LSU, by the way, a really talented baseball team, in case you guys did not learn that from this weekend. Extremely talented ball club. They've got some really, really good players. They've got some fantastic young players. Landon Marceau is a legit stud on a Friday night. Gavin Dugas, big-time hitter. Dylan Cruz, their top 2 guys in their lineup, big-time freshman bats. They've got talent. Like I told you guys last week, you don't go to play at LSU if you suck. Bottom line, you just don't. But this Gamecocks baseball team, losing game 1 in the fashion in which they lost it, and Friday obviously gets moved, gets bumped back to Saturday with a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games, which I want to get into just a little bit more in just a second. But I think it helps South Carolina. I'll be totally honest. When that happened, when that decision happened to postpone Friday night, I said, you know what? I think we just dodged a bullet, because having to play game 2 at night at Alex Box with the series on the line, I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, damn, if this is going to be a game we're going to lose, it's going to be this one. LSU with all the momentum right now. We can't hit for shit. We can't do anything at the plate. I was a little nervous. But that win anyway mentality, the game 2 just exemplifies it, right? LSU had you dead in the water for 15 innings. For the first 15 innings of this series, you were done. You were dead. Bats did nothing for you. Down 2-0 going to that top of the 7th, and this team just refuses to quit. They refuse to go down without a fight. The huge swings of David Mendham, of Braylon Wimmer, a big bunt in that 7th by Noah Myers, by the way, which should not go underappreciated, or unappreciated, I should say. Brady Allen, of course, just doing Brady Allen things. And of course, it was crazy. It's like you hit that, you had that big 4-run inning. All of a sudden, there was the confidence. You know what I mean? There it was. Another takeaway, of course, let's move into this, guys. And I know a question that a lot of you have. Because I made the joke on Saturday that's like, you know what? Hey, it's almost like overreacting after game 1 is a bad idea. Because we saw the same people, and I'm not going to say who it is, but the same people on social media after game 1 on Thursday night on Twitter. Just, this team's terrible. They can't hit. Kingston's not an SEC caliber coach. He can't win in this league. Just like clockwork. And my point on social media, guys, was this. It's like, dude, just let it play out. Like, are we going to do this every single weekend where we don't play well in game 1, fans freak out, we find a way to win the series, and everybody's back on the bandwagon again? Like, stop making yourself look silly and just let it play out. Because this team has shown you, I've said it time and time again, it's not always going to be pretty. There's going to be times where this team frustrates the heck out of us. But you can never question this team's fight. You can never question this team's want to, and this team's battle, and this team's win anyway. You just can't do it. So, hey, you got beat on Thursday. But what is the issue in game 1? A lot of people just want to know. They want a reason. They want to know what is wrong in game 1. And my answer to you guys is this. I don't really know. I don't really know. I do not really know. Like, I don't have one specific thing that I point to and say, that's the problem. Poor Thomas Farr. I don't know who he pissed off when it comes to the baseball gods, but why he seems to cannot get run support. Listen, did Thomas Farr have his best stuff on? And I would say this because obviously, without jumping too far ahead, you look at this week, you have no midweek game and you got Arkansas Thursday night at home. And so you look at that series and say, what does South Carolina need to do better? I think everybody needs to be better. Obviously, you got to swing it better. Heck, I think Thomas Farr's got to be better. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Obviously, gave up those 2 earned runs on 1 swing of the bat, Gavin Dugas, but 3 walks and 3 strikeouts, and he had a hit by pitch, 96 pitches in 5 innings. He's got to be more efficient. I talked to you guys about this last week, that Thomas Farr, in my mind, was going to be the guy that set the tone for you, not just in this ballgame, for this series. And, again, while he's not pitching that poorly, right? And he would admit this too, and I'm sure Skylar Meade would and Kingston would. He has to do a better job of setting the tone. You come out in that first inning, you get hit around a little bit, and again, it just throwing way too many pitches. I think he had like 50 pitches through 2 innings. Got to find a way to be more efficient. Got to fill up the zone. Trust your stuff. I think the biggest thing with Thomas Farr, there are 2 things I see with Thomas Farr. Number one, I think a lot of times, he's so fired up, he's so jacked up, he's so amped for the game and to pitch. He comes out a little too excited, and you see him missing up in the zone. The location isn't quite as sharp. The stuff's not quite as sharp as a result, and he gets hit around a little bit, or he walks guys early in the game. Location suffers immensely. I think the other thing too is at times, I think Thomas Farr maybe gets a little bit tries to be a little too perfect. It's like, dude, your stuff is great. You throw 95, 96, breaking ball is insane. You got a good changeup. Trust it. Let it eat. Let it work. Trust your stuff. These are college hitters, man. You ain't got to be perfect to these guys. Trust your stuff. You don't have to do anything more than what you do. Settle the emotions, calm the mechanism, as they say, right? Silence the mechanism or whatever for the love of the game, and just go pitch and just go play catch. I don't know if maybe he's pressed a little bit or putting a little bit too much pressure on himself, but I will say this to fans that say, oh, Chris, maybe we need to move Thomas Farr in the rotation, or God forbid, there's some people that have said maybe we need to move him out of the rotation. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This offense has got to do a better job. He's got to get help. 1 run on 3 hits, guys. Situational hitting was embarrassing on Thursday night. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, you get nobody in. Bases loaded, man on 3rd with nobody out. You don't get him in. Bases loaded with nobody out. You only score 1 run. You got to be better. So the issues in game 1, I think it's everybody. I think everybody has to be better. And I don't think it's I God forbid, I saw some people saying, oh, we're not trying as hard in game 1. We're not as focused or locked in, which is lunacy to be saying that. It's lunacy. And yes, the average on Friday is going to be worse, or game 1 is going to be worse in games 2 and 3, because you're obviously facing that team's ace. I get it. But everybody's got to be better. Thomas Farr's got to be better. The bats have got to be better. Mark Kingston's got to be better. Everyone has to be better in game 1. But I don't think there's one particular issue like, moving Thomas Farr back in a weekend rotation. That's not going to solve your problems. If anything else, if nothing else, it's going to create more problems, in my opinion. But so you have that rough game 1. Game 2 is just as miserable. Going into the 7th inning, you're thinking to myself, my God. I thought this team was dead, guys. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you know what? Okay, let's just try to salvage game 2. Just take 1 and get out of here. But the bats come alive in the 7th, and it's just crazy to me. It's crazy how baseball, the game of baseball, all it takes is 1 inning. It just takes 1 inning to get momentum and get rolling. Because up to that point, 15 innings, LSU had dominated you, right? LSU had flat out dominated you. And I didn't do the numbers here, but Carolina had 3 hits in game 1. And then had, let's see, South Carolina had 4 hits in that top of the 7th. They had 3 hits going into the 7th inning. So they had 6 hits total through 15 innings, and it scored 1 run. In the 7th alone, you scored 4 runs on 4 hits. And then obviously game 3, you exploded. It's crazy how just that 7th inning, all of a sudden, hey, get a couple back-to-back knocks, Mendham, Burgess, bunt them over, finally somebody gets a big-time hit in Braylon Wimmer, which so happy to see it for him, obviously battling the stuff with his family, and he's been kind of struggling to get back after it. Thought you really saw him get back into form on Saturday afternoon. And then Brady Allen, like I said, guys, just doing what he does best with that clutch 2-run double. But it's crazy how in baseball, things can change in just one inning, and certainly didn't they do that. The story with this team, guys, and why I don't freak out over Carolina is this. The Gamecocks have the same issue that I would say 95% of teams in college baseball have, especially in the SEC. We'll just stick to the SEC. The Gamecocks have the same issue that most everyone in the SEC has. Most everyone in this league has elite pitching or good enough pitching to win. Most everybody in the league does. The hitting, and I've said this over and over, but the hitting, do you get enough from your bats? And what you're just going to have to do with this team, guys, is understand, hey, we're not always going to hit. But the great thing about this team is we have pitching to keep us in every single ball game. Hey, tip your cap to Brandon Jordan for battling. Hey, for showing resiliency. He wasn't great early. Gave up a single run in the first and the second. He wasn't great. But he battled back, went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, had 5 walks, so uncharacteristic for him with location, struggles with location, but did have 6 strikeouts. And, of course, I thought Andy Peters and Brett Carey, what they did in relief, fantastic. And, again, you saw that from your pitchers all weekend long. Your pitchers more than did their job. I mean, guys, you give up 7 runs in 3 games, you did your job on the mound, bottom line. Heck, you ought to sweep in that scenario, in my opinion. But, of course, I'll take 2 out of 3 on the road any day of the week, especially when it's in Baton Rouge. But fans are just going to have to understand with this ball club, hey, the hitting's not always going to be there. You got to be patient. It's going to come around. We're going to hit. We're going to hit at some point. But you got to be patient. I know it's going to be frustrating at times. I totally get it. I understand. I was frustrated too. But you got to trust at some point good hitters are going to hit. Speaking of good hitters hitting and great pitching, beating great hitting, another big takeaway for me, guys, again, like I told you going into the series, great pitching beats great hitting. And that's why I felt so confident about this USC ball club in this series because, LSU obviously came in this series, 52 home runs, I believe, coming in, I think, 3rd in the country or something like that. They can swing it. LSU can swing it, no question. But I just feel confident every weekend, guys, when you're talking about Thomas Farr and Danny Lloyd and Andy Peters and Julian Bosnick and Brett Carey and just, Will Sanders and that entire host of arms that you have. We said it all preseason. One of the reasons, probably the number one reason I like this team so much, for the first time in forever, you've got a legit pitching staff with depth. You've got arms on arms that are going to give you a chance to win every single weekend. And you saw that yet again. This team has legit talent on the mound. And, moving into that, talking about the pitchers, see, I spin it a little bit differently because a lot of people watch Jordan and Sanders in games 2 and 3 of all these weekend series, and they say, oh, Thomas Farr's got to move back in the rotation. Guys, have you guys ever considered, what the last couple of weekends have shown me is that not that anybody needs to get moved around. We are so fortunate right now in the sense of dude, our 2 and 3, Jordan Sanders, are just that much better than everybody else's 2 and 3. That's one of the reasons we're winning these games 2 and 3. Will Sanders is better than any Sunday guy you are going to see. And, of course, I know you got Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. They're going to feature their guys on Sundays. But, Will Sanders is a Friday night guy. He is. He's going to be your Friday night guy next year. I damn near guarantee it. And Brandon Jordan, that's as good a Saturday guy or as good a game 2 guy as you're going to find in the SEC. So that's what more so jumps out at me is I'm like, dude, our games 2 and 3 guys are incredible. They're absolutely incredible because we're hitting the games 2 and 3 guys. It's the aces that are giving us trouble. Even look at LSU. And yes, they've had an injury, but bro, they scrambled to find somebody to pitch that final game. And obviously it didn't work out very well for them. So I don't know. I kind of spin it differently. Do I think Thomas Farr has thrown his best baseball? No, I have not. No, I do not. But he's going to stay in that Friday night role, guys. He's a Friday night guy. A little bit of it is looks in the sense of having the stuff. Thomas Farr's got those 96, 97 with an exploding breaking ball. He has the look of, oh, that is a Friday night starter. That's an ace. That's your horse right there. But again, great pitching beats great hitting, man. I know there's probably going to come a weekend where we do not throw it as well as I would like or any of us would like, and we're going to have to find a way to outscore somebody. I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. But hell, I don't know when, because this pitching staff is legit, dude. This pitching staff is so legit. I feel good about all three starters. I feel good about everybody we roll out of the bullpen. Like I have not felt this confident in Gamecocks pitching in quite a while. And dude, just imagine if you can get Thomas Farr actually going. I mean, if you can get Thomas Farr back to his form like he was at Texas, at Vandy, oh my goodness. We're talking about maybe the best weekend rotation or one of the best in the SEC. Another key takeaway for me, guys, like I said earlier, I talked about this a little bit. How much did the Saturday doubleheader actually help South Carolina? Because when this was announced Friday night, I literally told myself, I was like, dude, that is like the best thing that could have ever happened to us. I know it sucked, which, by the way, it was great Friday night getting to sit there and watch Ole Miss, Mississippi State, though. What an incredible game that was, by the way. What an incredible series, too. And we're going to play both of them, so it was fun to kind of get an early look at them, if you will. But anyways, moving to that Saturday doubleheader, I think that helped this team out tremendously. Like, I don't think you can overstate it, how big that was. Because 2 7-inning games for South Carolina. If you guys are wondering why they did that, by the way, apparently there's a rule in the SEC. You only get 3 days to play 3. So they could not have played on Sunday for whatever reason. I have no idea what that is, but that's just the rule. But the Saturday doubleheader, I looked at that and said 2 7-inning games. And I mean, heck, Thursday, you only used Thomas Farr, Danny Lloyd, and then Phipps for an inning. And you had a night off on Friday. So you had everybody basically ready to go. You had pitching on pitching on pitching. So I knew going into Saturday, okay, our arms are going to be there. We're going to have a chance to win just solely based on those guys on the bump. We are going to have a chance to win. But overall, I just thought that doubleheader was huge, honestly, in the series. I would have been very nervous for a Friday night game, them trying to win a series, all that momentum. I think that Saturday doubleheader certainly helped you. Another key takeaway for me, something like I said that went, back on the hitting side of things, that went a little under the radar. Braylon Wimmer getting back on track, guys. I've talked about him a lot, and I think he's such a key piece of this lineup. I think he's such a key piece of this lineup and a guy that has such an impact for you. Just has such an impact when it comes to, his speed, his power, and where does he fall in the USC lineup? And guys, he talked about that after the Saturday game, the final game. And Braylon Wimmer had a quote about it. Said, quote, "Wherever I am, I'm going to contribute to this team. It don't matter where I am." When asked about, getting shuffled in the lineup and how he feels, whatever, his confidence, whatever. Braylon Wimmer's a big-time ball player, and he can do it all. I mean, this is going to be a guy that scouts are going to love. He's got speed. He's got power. He can make plays in the field defensively. Got a good arm. Getting Braylon Wimmer back on track, especially that ahead of this Arkansas series, is so big for this lineup and so big for this team. Where should he bat? I think he's a typical 2-hole hitter. I love the combo of Allen and Wimmer at the top. I get it if Mark Kingston wants to have sort of a quote-unquote double leadoff, if you will, with him in the 9-hole. But I don't know. I just feel like Wimmer is best served in that 2-hole. And it's funny, in the preseason, I thought he was going to be your leadoff, but I didn't think he was going to have the type of power he's had this year. So that's been a pleasant surprise, of course. Somebody who's not having or didn't have a great weekend and is not having a great go right now is Wes Clark. Big bopper. Another rough weekend. People saying, Chris, what's wrong with him? Moving down the lineup. Hey, it's baseball, man. It's baseball. There's ups, there's downs. You're going to go through adversity. You're going to get hot. You're going to get cold. Right now, Wes Clark is cold, no question. He's cold. I think he continues to take good at bats, but he doesn't have anything to show for it. And it's crazy to me when you just see this lineup, and this lineup just showed you like what they're capable of, the potential of it. This lineup can look as bad can get, like we saw Thursday and for most of Saturday, game 1. But then you also saw just how great this lineup can be. That 7th inning, you score 4. And in game 3, it's a hit parade in Baton Rouge. You had 14 hits. 14 hits in a 7-inning game on the road to take a series. I mean, that just speaks for itself. And then you got a guy like Will Sanders who's just shoving, give him confidence. He gets a lead. He can go right after guys. That stuff's going to eat, man. That stuff's going to play. Bottom line, that stuff is going to play every single time. But I think Wes Clark will be fine. I do think Wes Clark will be fine. He's going through a little bit of a rough patch. It's baseball. It happens. The best hitters go through it. And again, Wes Clark is kind of a microcosm of this entire Gamecocks lineup. You just got to trust that at some point, good hitters are going to hit. Good hitters are going to find a way. At some point, they are. And that's the thing I've learned the most about this baseball team to this point. Because we have officially hit the halfway point for Carolina baseball when it comes to the SEC schedule, with the Gamecocks now being at 10-5 in SEC play. That's what I've probably learned most from this team is that, you know what, this is a team, every single weekend, they're going to pitch it well enough to win. What do you get out of the hitters? You just got to trust as a fan. Again, like I said earlier, yes, it's going to be frustrating at times. You just got to trust as a fan, though. Those bats are going to come around. And you just hope they come around sooner rather than later. Because you can't just keep losing game 1 and get away with it, right? Like baseball is a game. It's going to bite you at some point. You keep playing with fire, you're going to get burned eventually. And I really thought that going into this series against LSU. I'm like, damn, if you lose game 1, this might be the weekend it finally hurts you. And it didn't. But that's going to be a focus going into this week against Arkansas. My final takeaway, guys, is this is just, again, this is just such a funny, stupid, hilarious, incredible game. Isn't it? The momentum of baseball, getting Uncle Mo in your dugout. Because like I said, guys, the first 15 innings, Gamecocks couldn't do anything right. Nothing was going their way. Nothing was dropping. Not even a lot of hard contact. Nothing. This team was dead in the water through 15 innings. All of a sudden, I don't know what changed. I don't know what flipped. Top of the 7th comes around. Boom, boom. Big time knock ties it. Boom. 2-run lead. And then from there, like I said, it was on. You had 18 hits in the last 8 innings of play. That's insane. And it's just crazy how one inning can change your fate. One inning can change your fortunes. But again, when you have pitching that keeps you in the ballgame, South Carolina couldn't have won that game in game 1 if they didn't hold LSU to 2 runs. If you don't have the arms to keep you in it, you don't have a chance. And so that's almost kind of become the identity of this ball club. And not necessarily saying I want it to be, I don't want losing game 1 certainly to be the identity of this team. But the identity of this team is it's not an elite level hitting ball club by any stretch. It's a ball club with a lot of good hitters, I think. But, this lineup for whatever reason goes hot and cold. It feels like when a couple of guys start hitting, everybody's hitting. And when nobody's hitting, nobody is hitting. Right? But you got the arms to keep you in it. The momentum of baseball, it's wild. The momentum of baseball is absolutely crazy. You just wonder, with no midweek game this week, by the way, with no midweek game, could that momentum carry over into this Arkansas series this weekend? Again, let's move into TSUS Series MVP. And guys, this is one I kind of went back and forth on. But when I started to dive a little bit deeper and think about it a little bit more, I thought to myself, you know what? This guy's deserving, man. Because it's not just about getting knocks. It's about getting timely knocks. And knocks that you look back and say, wow, that was a big swing. That was a big swing. That one made a difference. That was a game saver. That was a game changer. And so my TSUS Series MVP is David Mendham. Davy Dingers. Davy Doubles. What a weekend. How about old Davy Triples on Thursday night? Never thought I'd see the day that David Mendham got a triple. All due respect, Davy. I love you. Never thought I'd see the day that where David Mendham got a triple. 4 for 9 on the week and hit 444. 1 homer and 2 RBIs. But again, guys, like I told you, it's not just about getting knocks. It's getting those timely knocks. And the reason David Mendham's getting this award, it's not just because he went 4 for 9 with a homer and 2 RBIs. It's because of 2 swings. The leadoff single in the 7th of game 1, which started the rally. You could argue if he doesn't get that knock, it never happens. So that leadoff single in the 7th in game 1, and then starting off game 3 the right way with a 2-run bomb, by the way. A 2-run bomb to get things going. Pitching, defense, and timely hitting. That's the third recipe. Timely hitting. It's what you didn't have on Thursday. Timely hitting. And David Mendham certainly had that again. TSUS Series MVP goes to Mr. David Mendham, a.k.a. Davy Doubles, a.k.a. Davy Dingers. Let's talk about the slapdick of the weekend. And this one falls on me. Hey, I'm taking the L. Slapdick of the weekend is technology for basically locking me out. And I didn't have the ability to tweet during the game. We didn't go live during the game. And I take the L on it. I take full responsibility. So, hey, slapdick of the weekend, congratulations, LSU. None of y'all got it. None of y'all deserved it more than the technology at the studio. So, I guess good on you. But, yeah, I'm going to take ownership. I'll hold the L. Slapdick of the weekend was technology. Again, I can tell you guys this. Like, am I unhealthily addicted to technology? I would say no, but I can also tell you this. Like, not being able to tweet the game Saturday was like, and do the live stream and just do my thing was the most, like, that was like one of the worst experiences of my entire life. That was so awful. I tried logging into my Twitter and re-logging in and logging in 100 times. I'm not even joking. But anyways, we're back. We're back online. We're good. No biggie. We're back. But brutal. That was brutal. So slapdick of the weekend, technology. You deserve it. All right, let's move into who's hot, who's not, guys. We're going to start with who's hot. And I could have went over the past couple of games and given this guy the, accumulated his stats, if you will. But I'm just going to talk about what he did in game 2 on Saturday. But Will Sanders, folks, is scorching hot. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs, no earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts on Saturday in game 2. Probably going to pick up another award this week. It's already been announced by the time this show is dropped. But Will Sanders, I mean, it feels so like, oh, ho-hum at this point. Like, what's so funny and awesome, by the way, about Will Sanders, it is so much fun to just watch this dude pitch because it looks so easy. It looked so, and I knew, guys, that it was just meant to be for Will Sanders and the Gamecocks when I think it was like the 6th inning. Pretty sure it was his final inning. You guys might remember the ground ball that went up the middle and it hit off of his foot and deflected right to David Mendham. And he tagged first. And it's like, you know what? When it's your day, when it's your weekend, it's just your weekend. It's just your day. If you're LSU there, you've got to ask the baseball gods what you did to deserve that and just tip your cap. Because, I mean, it just, but when you give a guy a lead, when you talk about Will Sanders, when you give a guy a lead and he can pitch, he only has 2 walks on the season. Guys, that is insane. When you throw 95 and you have an insane breaking ball and you throw a lot of strikes and don't walk anyone. I mean, guys, 38 1/3 innings pitched now. He has, 6 walks. Okay, he has 6 walks. My bad. But 38 1/3 innings. He has 6 walks on the year. That is insanity. 40 strikeouts to 6 walks. Folks, that is getting the job done. 6-1 now with a 2.11 ERA. Who's hot? Mr. Will Sanders. Who's not? We talked about him earlier. We got to talk about a little bit more. Wes Clark. Get these numbers because, a lot of people have been talking about, Wes is slumping. People don't even realize what his numbers have been. Over the last 8 games, Wes Clark is just 4 for 27. Had 1 hit in Baton Rouge, but he's 4 for 27. A 148 average in his last 8 games with just 3 RBIs. Guys, get this. Here's what's even crazier. He has not homered since the Saturday game at Georgia, which was on April the 3rd. It has been over 2 weeks since this man hit a bomb. Now, like I said, am I worried about Wes Clark? Absolutely not. Hey, great hitters are going to hit. Great hitters will find a way to hit, and Wes Clark is a great hitter. He will get back going. He will get back in his groove. He'll get back to doing his thing. There's no need to move him in the lineup. A great hitter's going to figure it out, but it's just baseball. hitting a round ball with a round bat. You're going to go into slumps, bottom line. You're going to go into slumps. So, Wes Clark, for me, you get the who's not, 4 for 27 in your last 8 games. But again, who knows, man? This weekend against Arkansas, maybe it could be a big one for him where he gets back on track. The Gamecocks could certainly use it. And what's next for Carolina baseball? I just mentioned there's no midweek game this week. No midweek. But arguably, this has got to be the biggest series in quite some time for Carolina baseball. Certainly in Columbia, as the Gamecocks welcome the Arkansas Razorbacks to Columbia Thursday through Saturday. It's going to be an incredible weekend for college baseball. Like I said, guys, I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, so the rankings haven't come out, but certainly the Gamecocks are going to be a top 10 team. Arkansas right now is, what are they ranked? Number 1? Top 5? Certainly they're top 5. I don't have the rankings pulled up right now in front of me. But and Arkansas is actually, I'm taking a look right now. They're playing game 3 against Texas A&M. They're up 3-1 in the top of the third, going for the sweep in that one. So they'll probably get the sweep, and will most likely come into that series because they actually have a midweek with Grambling State on Tuesday, which shouldn't be a problem. So they'll most likely come into this weekend, 12-3 in the conference, not having lost a series, and probably going to be 32-5 overall. So, a top 10 matchup at Founders Park, and the Gamecocks are still trying to keep up with Vandy and Tennessee in the SEC East race. They're right behind both of them. As big a weekend for Carolina baseball as there's been in years. Honestly, huge series. And it really, I already talked about the Gauntlet 2.0 that I think included LSU, but the Gauntlet continues with Arkansas this weekend, at Ole Miss next weekend, and Mississippi State at home the following weekend. So, part 1 of that is done. Taking 2 out of 3 from LSU. What can you do against Arkansas again? No midweek game. Everybody's going to be rested up. Arms are going to be good to go, and it should be an incredible atmosphere. The Rowdy Roosters will be out in full force this weekend against the Arkansas Razorbacks. P.S. Ray Tanner, increased capacity. Did anybody else see the dude this weekend? How awesome that atmosphere was. Did anybody else see the dude? Come on. Just give us 50%. Whatever. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast. By the way, huge series upcoming this weekend against Arkansas Razorbacks. That's going to do it all, guys, for me, for the breakdown of that series. Again, another great series dub of the Gamecocks. Anytime, like I told you guys, you go on the road. I don't care who you're playing, but especially LSU. You go on the road to Baton Rouge and Alex Box, you take 2 out of 3, you had a great weekend. You did your job. And this team continues to battle. This team continues to fight. And this team continues to just find a way and to win anyway. And it's a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. All right, let's move on the football side of things, guys. Just really quickly, I do want to touch on it because, again, it is spring game week. The spring game this Saturday at 2 o'clock, Williams-Brice Stadium. We're going to have a ton of coverage, a ton of preview stuff. I'm going to be breaking everything down going into the spring game this Saturday. But I do want to talk about just really quickly, like I said, touching on it, Shane Beamer and his comments from the scrimmage that happened over the weekend. Overall, like I said, I'm not a guy, and there's a reason why I said this on Friday. I'm not a guy that puts a ton of stock into spring practice because it is what it is, right? They're installing a lot. They're evaluating personnel. A lot of it is fundamentals. They're just trying to really this spring. I think Shane Beamer and company and that coaching staff are just trying to learn the players on their roster. But you don't want to get over amped or overexcited or what, even with the spring game this Saturday. It feels like every year it's clockwork in the spring game. There's one guy that stands out or has a great game, does this, does that, and you never hear from him again, right? It is what it is. But Shane Beamer, the thing I thought was really interesting from his comments, talked about the offense and the lack of explosive plays, and they want to see more explosive plays. And again, none of us were at the scrimmage. We have no idea. But I do love, just thinking ahead to South Carolina football this fall, we should be pretty damn good offensively. Would anybody disagree? I know wide receiver is obviously a huge question mark, but when you talk about the running back tandem you have in Lloyd and Harris, and I think Luke Doty's a more than capable quarterback, and just the overall mindset shift with Shane Beamer and Satterfield and what they want to run, I think you ought to be able to score points this year. And I think that's going to be the goal. Again, Shane Beamer comes from a place like Oklahoma where they scored in bunches. And he even mentioned that on Saturday, saying, no, I came from Oklahoma. Maybe I'm a little bit spoiled. We had playmakers. We had guys on the field making plays, explosive plays. He also mentioned the front seven, which I think, I've heard about more than once this spring. I think it'll probably be on full display Saturday in the spring game. But the Gamecocks, that's probably, in my mind, the best position group, the best position unit on this football team is that defensive front. And the great thing also here is nobody got hurt. Nobody's really that seriously banged up. I thought it was interesting. They said Ortre Smith did not participate. You just wonder, man, can that guy ever get healthy? Can he be healthy? We all want to see him on the field. We're all pulling for it. But at some point, it's like, can you stay healthy? Staying healthy and being healthy, that's part of being a great football player, a great athlete, is staying healthy. Can he be healthy? But overall, other than that, I thought it was kind of funny, Shane Beamer joking about the tight end position, people saying, throw it to the tight end more, and Beamer saying, everybody wants to use the tight end more. They're going to use the tight end. And I think the Gamecocks are certainly going to use the tight end this year with Nick Muse and Jaheim Bell and Kevion Mullins and E.J. Jenkins. And you got plenty of guys at that position. That can make an impact for you. But overall, good stuff on the football field. Obviously, spring game this weekend. Like I said, I'm going to have a ton of content coverage, everything. We're going to preview the spring game. I'm thinking about even doing like a pregame live on Saturday, which should be a lot of fun. It's just great. It's going to be great to get back into Willie B. Expanded capacity, too, with 15,000. So even more Gamecocks in the building. So it's going to be a lot of fun to just get back in the building and take it all in and see the new guys and all that. But it's kind of crazy, too, that spring football practice is already coming to a close. Like, this is the last week of it. But, overall, it sounds like it's been a successful spring. Guys are healthy. Guys are getting acclimated to the system and to the culture. And, guys are battling for positions, battling for jobs. And that'll continue, I think, through the summer and, of course, fall camp as well. All right, let's move into news and notes, guys. Then we'll get into your listener questions. The ESPN FPI, which is the Football Power Index. I just wanted to mention this really quickly. We put it on social media. But it's putting South Carolina football at 4.5 wins. 4.5 wins for this 2021 season. And does the FPI really mean anything? Not really. But it is a pretty decent indicator of what Vegas is going to do. And I thought Vegas would probably have South Carolina at 5 wins over under. But I would ask you guys, is that disrespectful? Is that a slap in the face? Or is it just about right where South Carolina should be? I think 5 is the number. 4.5 to me feels a little low. But, hey, you got to prove it. Brand new head coach. You lost a ton defensively, unknowns offensively. You got to go prove it. So ESPN FPI, Gamecocks football at 4.5 wins for Shane Beamer's first season. Also, guys, on the women's basketball side of things, Dawn Staley's squad got great news when Lele Grissett announced she is going to be back next season. Great news for Dawn Staley. Obviously, she missed due to an injury, but great to get her back. A really big-time piece. And someone I'm really excited to watch next season. All right, guys, let's get into listener questions. We do have a lot of good questions. We're going to start first. My buddy Harrison Fant sent me over a question, actually texted to me. He says, talk about the SEC Gauntlet 2.0 of Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. He also says, was this weekend series more of an LSU meltdown / missed opportunity or USC waking up and taking advantage? The second question first, I think it was a mix of both. Certainly, but here's the thing. In game 2, did LSU melt down? Not really. Dude, they had their guy on the bump. They had their guy, did they not? They had Devin Fontenot. That's the guy you want out there. And Labus had been great for you all day. I think the Gamecock bats just finally woke up. And then game 3, I don't think you'd say LSU melted down. They just got their asses whooped. Like I said, it's crazy. It's just wild how in the game of baseball, South Carolina was dead for 15 innings. That 16th inning came around and just something clicked, man. I don't know. Something just clicked. Of course, offensively, something clicked, and you found a way to get the job done. So I think it was a mix, but I think it was more South Carolina just finally woke up and, finally got the bats going and took advantage of the opportunity, bottom line. And then, of course, he asked about the SEC Gauntlet 2.0, which, again, we talked about that a little bit last week. I mean, you're going to really find out over the next 3 weeks the type of ball club you have. And I said counting, because I counted LSU in that gauntlet, that 2.0, with at LSU, Archie at home, at Ole Miss, MSU at home. If you could go 6-6 in that stretch, which is on average you won 3 out of 4 series, you will sign up for that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Again, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State are all in the top 5. So, this is just as tough a stretch as Texas, Vandy, Florida was, if not tougher, to be honest. So 6-6 is certainly still in play. You're 2-1 right now. And I think the thing you like the most is Arkansas and Mississippi State both being at home. That's the big thing. You like that being at home. So, hey, you come to the SEC to play in this league and to play that type of competition and to go up against the best. And certainly South Carolina will be doing that over the next 3 weekends, no question. Couple more questions here. Jordan Portillo 93. What a game 2. Way to get the series dub, boys. #GoCox. Indeed. Krusty Andy. What do you think about the 4.5 over-under for football? No filter, he says. Krusty Andy, do I ever have a filter? Come on now. Well, no filter doesn't mean shit, really, at the beginning of, at the end of the day. It doesn't really mean anything. I just think South Carolina football is not going to get the benefit of the doubt from national pundits. We feel good about South Carolina football and what's going on with Shane Beamer and what's going on behind closed doors. We're just not going to get the benefit of the doubt from anybody, which is fine. Like, we really don't deserve respect when you think about it. Do we have some capable ball players coming back? Sure. But the schedule's still the schedule. You still have to play Clemson, Georgia, Florida, A&M, Auburn, Tennessee, Missouri. I mean, you still have to play that schedule. And you're not going to get any love from the national pundits. And again, like I said, do you really deserve it? Does 4.5 feel a little low? Yeah. But we're almost kind of splitting hairs because what's better, 5? I mean, it's a half. Maybe 5.5, maybe, but that to me would feel a little high. I think 5.5 would probably actually be the perfect number because it makes a gambler pick 5 or 6. And I think that's where this team's going to fall this year. They're either 6-6 or 5-7. It's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. So, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Let's go prove them wrong. To hell with them. Let's see. Eric.mobster74 says, what's something you want to see out of the spring game? Well, like I told you guys, I don't get over excited from a guy balling out in the spring game. The number one thing I want to see out of the spring game is just nobody get hurt. I don't want to see any injuries. The last time we had the spring game, Keel Pollard, remember 2 years ago, went down with a leg injury. He never played for South Carolina again. So you want to avoid that. Everybody come out healthy. That is the number one goal. The thing I'm most looking forward to, though, probably, guys, and I'll talk about it more later this week, of course, though, is probably I'd say just seeing the new guys. There's so many new transfers. Marion Brown at wide receiver, E.J. Jenkins, Jason Brown, Debo Williams on the defensive side, Jordan Strawn, Marcellus Dial. I mean, there's a lot of guys that transferred in that are going to help you. I want to see the front 7. Of course, we all want to see the quarterbacks. We want to see Luke Doty. I want to see Kevin Harris. He probably won't play a ton, but I want to see Kevin Harris. I'm sure Marshawn Lloyd will just do non-contact stuff. He won't play in the game. I want to see the wide receiver position because, like I said, no, it doesn't really matter what you do in the spring game, right? Not really. But does anybody start to emerge and build some momentum for going through the offseason? Maybe you look and you say, hey, maybe that's a guy. Maybe that's going to be a dude for you. Because right now, you don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Nobody has any clue who that guy is. Does anybody start to separate themselves? That's the big question I've got. Does anybody start to separate themselves at that position? So again, there's a ton to look forward to. There's a ton to dive into and to preview and to break down. And we're going to do all of that later this week, guys. I can assure you that. Last question or last statement. Trip_05 says, we just can't not lose a series. And I know you kind of phrase that weird, but I do get what you're saying. No, it's this team, man. It's incredible. Like I said, you don't want to. It's not something you necessarily want to continue because, like I said, you keep playing with fire long enough. At some point, it's going to burn you, right? At some point, you're going to lose a game 1, and then you're going to lose a series. Like, you're not just going to win Saturday, Sunday, or games 2 and 3 every single week. But like I said, you can question many things about this team. You can get frustrated. You can get pissed off. You can kick and scream. But the one thing you cannot question about this ball club is their toughness, their heart, their character, their fight, their win anyway, their battle. That is something they have shown time and time again. This team has it. They have that. And that's a great thing to build your ball club around. It's a great thing to build your ball club around for sure. Last question here actually comes from Twitter. At Austin310-39658 says, how long do you think the Wes the Hammer Clark will be in his cold slump? I would not be surprised if Wes Clark didn't have a big weekend this weekend. I don't know. I have a good feeling about it coming back home, hitting at Founders Park. Our guys love to hit at Founders Park, including Wes Clark. I'd almost bank on it. He will have a home run this weekend. So who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't know. I feel good about Wes Clark. So again, guys, thank you for the listener questions. That's going to do it for that. And that's going to do it for us here on a Monday, guys. No guest interview. Going to have my buddy on later this week. He had to move some things back, shift some things around on a Sunday. So no interview today. We got some great conversations upcoming this week for you guys. Also, of course, the podcast, Monday through Friday, the Daily Crow, Monday through Friday, noon to 1. Also might have a little special pregame show on Saturday for the spring game. So please be sure to stay tuned for that. But again, guys, a huge week in Columbia, South Carolina. The content is rolling. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.